Browns getting ready for the joint practices with the Eagles get underway in about a half hour in Philadelphia. Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Do you think at the running back position if Ford injury is going to linger and hold him down for a couple weeks, miss a few weeks at the start of the season, do they bring in a veteran free agent, maybe a Melvin Gordon or somebody, or do they just continue to bring in young undrafted guys who are just out there, or use somebody on their roster to fill that spot? And then when do you think they bring in the competition for Cade York? Can't depend on this kid when you got a team that's ready to win, and you can't count on this kid to make sure to be automatic. I mean, kickers are going to miss every now and again, but this kid just seems to miss more than he makes. I want to hear your opinion. Go Browns.
And the Browns did, in fact, bring in a veteran-ish wide receiver. Jordan Wilkins has some time with the Colts, was part of a three-person rotation there behind Jonathan Taylor. They also signed Nate Meadors, who was with the Browns, played on special teams. Jacob Phillips, torn pectoral muscle, done for the year, and they waived safety Bubba Bolden with an injury designation. That's that from Scott Petrak. Let's welcome in Scott Petrak, Browns beat reporter from the Elyria Chronicle-Telegram, as well as BrownsZone.com. Scott, we'll get to Cade York in a minute. The running back, Wilkins, I think it's an interesting signing. It's a guy that's played in the league, has been productive, some when given the opportunity.
Yeah, I think he's different than the guys they have. They have Nick Chubb, and they got a bunch of question marks. Even Jerome Ford, right? He had 8 carries for 12 yards last year. Now the Browns feel like he's going to be the number 2 guy when he's back from that hamstring injury. But he doesn't have NFL experience carrying the ball. Demetric Felton barely has any. John Kelly's most experience came in 2018 with the Rams. So Wilkins has that. I think he's rushed for 1,000 yards in his career. So he gives him a little experience, a little veteran presence, and if Ford is not ready week 1 coming off the hamstring, then they don't have to force Felton or Kelly or undrafted rookie Hassan Hall into that number 2 role.
And they clearly feel comfortable with Jerome Ford. That's why you don't get a veteran. You get a young guy who, has done it a guy like Wilkins. I mean, Wilkins makes sense if you really like Ford.
Yeah, I agree with that, right? If you didn't trust Ford, then you would think about bringing in, a guy that's, maybe doesn't have as much tread on the tires as he used to, but was a good back at some point, right? I think the caller might have mentioned a Melvin Gordon type of guy. I would understand that if you didn't have confidence in Ford, as the backup. But if you do, then you just kind of got to figure out a way to make that number 3 back work and then make the number 2 back work if Ford's not ready for the opener, and they're hoping that he's back for the opener.